Good afternoon to all of you and welcome to today's class where we are going to discuss the SSC CGL Tier 1 mock paper, and you can access this from the website as well. Let us begin with the first question. This session is for the general awareness section. For the other sections also, you can find the classes in English as well as Hindi. For the English classes, you can refer to this particular channel and you can check the other subjects as well. Okay. So let us get started. Question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding the Elephanta caves. The caves primarily depict Shaivite themes centered on Lord Shiva. So for Lord Shiva, we use the term Shaivite. There is another term Vaishnavite, which is for Lord Vishnu. Okay. So primarily it depicts, say, Shaivite theme. Is the statement true? Yes, the statement is correct. The 7-meter high masterpiece Sada Shiva dominates the entrance to cave number 1. So for the first cave itself, to cave number 1, there is the masterpiece, the 7-meter high Sada Shiva. So this is also correct. The cave demonstrates mastery in creating sculptural depth through controlled use of light and shadow. So this statement is also, we have to have 1 and 2. So even if you are not sure about 3, with 1 and 2, you have only one option, that is 1, 2 and 3. So 3 is also correct. All the 3 are correct here, that is 1, 2 and 3. So D is the correct answer. I am looking at your comments in the chat box. So please try to keep on answering as well in the chat box. All right. Let us move to the next question. Consider the following statements. Statement number 1. The eastern coastal plains in India are very narrow, whereas the western coastal plains are much broader. So what are the characteristics when we study the Eastern Ghats and the Western Ghats? So when we study the Western Ghats, we study that it is the characteristics of the Western Ghats that it has this, they are comparatively higher, they're comparatively narrow, and since the water is going to go up and fall down, it will be dominated. There will be many waterfalls. So in one statement, if we have to summarize, that is how we study. Then in case of the Eastern Ghats, it will be comparatively broader. For example, there is Narmada and Tapti in this side, and here there is your Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna and Kaveri. So this 4 river system in this side and Narmada and Tapti in this side. These are the basics, the minimum first and second statement that we remember, right? So here this will be more or less, they will be more interested in forming the broader, say, delta-like structures, not waterfall-like structures, right? So statement number 1 is not correct. Let us look at statement number 2. The east flowing rivers. So we have Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. Okay. The east flowing rivers, they form fertile deltas at their mouth where they drain in the Bay of Bengal. So normally also, if you will see, statement 1 and statement 2 cannot be correct at the same time. Yes or no? Because if you are talking about delta formation, they have to make the broader plains first, basic geography. So both of these cannot be true anyhow, right? So here statement number 1 is not correct and statement number 2 is correct, that yes, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, the east flowing rivers for that matter, they will form the fertile deltas at their mouths, and that's why that will be the broader plains as well, and finally they are going to drain into the Bay of Bengal. So this statement is absolutely correct. Statement 1 is false and statement 2 is true. There was a helicopter which passed by very near to the surface comparatively. Okay. So B is the correct answer. Let us look at the next question. Which of the following inscription talks about details of the Kalinga War? So from this time period, the mentions has just a little bit like this. Okay, increase. So if you study about the Ashokan period, that time also you in the Mauryan dynasty you study that okay, rock edicts and pillar edicts were there, right? And then in Rock Edict 4, Sarnath pillar inscription, Allahabad pillar inscription, or the rock number 13, the Rock Edict 13. So Kalinga War is mentioned in the Rock Edict 13. So the correct answer here will be Kalinga War is mentioned in the Rock Edict 13. So D is the correct answer. Match list 1 and list 2 and select the correct answer using the code given below this. Okay, let us see. This is from modern India. Okay, Brahmo Samaj, Dharma Samaj, Young Bengal movement, and the Prarthana Samaj. So at least you should know for the Bankers Party. At least you should know for the Brahmo Samaj, Prarthana Samaj, Arya Samaj, Ramakrishna Mission, Theosophical Society, and Young Bengal movement. For the entire socio-religious movements, if you do not know, then at least these only 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At least these 6 you should remember. For all these questions, you will be able to answer very nicely. Okay, so for Brahmo Samaj, which one should we select? They are asking to give the correct codes. Brahmo Samaj, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Now in many times, say for example, I will again repeat, for Proton, Rutherford is hidden here. For Brahmo Samaj, I will try to see Raja Ram Mohan Roy here hidden. Okay. Then for Prarthana Samaj, the option is, say, let us stick on Radhakant Dev. Even if you are not sure about this, for the Young Bengal movement, Henry Louis Vivian Deoraji. So for C2, now even if you know that for C2, even this one also if you will know, then you can tick on this one, right? Prarthana Samaj, I think they have mixed this up a bit. Okay, so with this, I think we can arrive at this A as the correct option because, okay, let us have a look at D as well. Just a second. Brahmo Samaj, so Prarthana Samaj, then all the bankers will do the PARTY. Okay, Young Bengal movement, you can select this one. So they have only 1 and 3. This 2 you can easily eliminate. Okay, now with D, you can either select Prarthana Samaj, Atmaram, Pandurang. With D, Prarthana Samaj, Atmaram, Pandurang. Okay, so that will only lead us to A as the correct answer. So even if these two you are knowing, Prarthana Samaj is Atmaram, Pandurang. Okay, I think with this you can give the correct answer. So for Brahmo Samaj, it is Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Prarthana Samaj, the trick is Prarthana will always be done by the Atma. I did not come down to see option number D. So I thought how come it is like that. But anyhow, no problem. D is with 1, this one. D is with 3. Okay. D is not with 1. D is with 3. So here A will be the correct answer. Prarthana is done from the Atma. So Prarthana Samaj is Atmaram Pandurang. Okay. So like this you can, and this one is for your Henry Vivian Deorogy. Henry Vivian Deorogy. So this three you can match from this one single question. Okay, let us proceed to the next question. As per the 14th Integrated Ratings and Ranking Report released by the Power Ministry in January 2026, which state emerged as the top performer in the power distribution utilities? So now Gujarat is the new Mumbai. So Gujarat has emerged as the leading or the top performer in the power distribution utilities. What is the term of the chairman of State Service Commission? Wherever we are studying polity, wherever there is the exception, so either it is say 560 or it is 6, or without term also some, but 65. But wherever there is the say exception of 662, that is very important. So all this we have noted separately also in the polity session, right? So here it is 665 for the State Service Commission. No, it is not 660. This directly you can eliminate. So the correct answer here is it is 662. Okay. Similarly, there is another question. Say they ask you about the judges of the High Court. Okay. So for the Supreme Court and judges of the High Court. So here 65 you go for Supreme Court. Here 62 you go. Okay. So like this also they can ask a question. I have always marked in the class also. I remind you that these questions are important. Now in the mock you can see that these questions are asked, right? The chemical name of laughing gases. Chemistry in everyday life. You can see this question very common. What does dentist use? Or laughing gas is being used means what is being used. So laughing gas means which one? It is your nitrous oxide. It is not out of happiness that the people are laughing. Okay. The name is laughing gas, but it will irritate the mouth and people are forced to keep their teeth out, and that is why it is called as laughing gas. It's not like the happiness laughing that people are laughing. Okay. Who among the following Indian Army officers won the UN Secretary General's Award 2025 for the project Equal Partners Lasting Peace? Equal Partners Lasting Peace. While serving in the United Nations mission in South Sudan for advancing gender parity and gender response peacekeeping in January 2026. So, United Nations Secretary General's Award 2025 for Equal Partners Lasting Peace. By whom? Major Swati Kumar. Major Swati Kumar. This is not Chand. This is somebody else. Major Swati Kumar is the correct answer. Next question. Which of the following statements are true? The group of animals that first developed a true coelom is Annelida. So if you still have not studied the 5 kingdom classification, I have repeatedly said this as high cost benefit. Okay. So the group of animals which has first developed true coelom, they're not asking about pseudo coelomates. Always I am focusing Platyhelminthes, Platyhelminthes. But it will help you to remember these are the flatworms. After that, next one you have the Aschelminthes. These are the round worm. And then you have the earthworm. These three are the connecting link after this. So you must remember this. True coelomates, they will be true coelomates. Is the statement true? They are asking which is correct. So this statement 1 is true. The presence of an operculum is characteristics of Ostatus. So if you have not added this, you can add this, that the presence, this is the characteristics, and that will lead us to A. That is both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct here. Which among the following are the objective of the 8th schedule? To promote and enrich the languages mentioned in this schedule. So if you still have not learned the 12 schedules of the Constitution, you must learn them because they have the high cost benefit. So the 8th schedule has the 22 languages. To promote and enrich the languages mentioned in this schedule. Is this there or just the languages is there? To facilitate representation of members of scheduled languages in official languages commissions. Which of the following statement is true? So this one statement, it is not there. So 2 only is the correct answer. 2 only is the correct answer. Match the column with their description. Okay. Column A, this is about the economic policies, and column C, this is about the description. Let us have all the 4 options first. Okay. Now let us look at the options. Fiscal policy. Action by the central bank to manage money supply and credit condition. So action by the central bank to manage money supply and credit conditions. It will be part of monetary policy. Let us check ahead. Regulations and agreement that controls import and export. This is related to what? Import export is trade policy, regulations and agreements. If you want to increase the exports, if you want to decrease the imports, you impose the high taxation on the other countries, those goods. Use of government spending and taxation to influence the economy. So that is fiscal policy. If you have to remember 2 words as a shortcut, always remember when you study monetary policy and when you study the fiscal policy. Fiscal policy. Monetary policy is by the RBI and fiscal policy is by the government. So fiscal policy is by the government, monetary policy is by the central bank or RBI. This will also solve your answer. Now check. A is with 3, A is with 3, B is with 1, B is with 1 and C is with 1. Always match the following question, verify twice, okay? Because even if you know the answer, sometimes they can run here and there. Next question. A parallel plate capacitor of capacitance C is made to a plate of area A. The plate was cut into 2 halves, creating 2 new capacitors. Okay, this plate was cut into 2 halves, creating 2 new capacitors. These 2 halves are then connected in series. What is the equivalent capacitance in the series combination? So the equivalent capacitance will be C by 4. For 1, if it is C, for 2 plates it has been half, so it is going to be 2 by 4. C by 4. Net invisibles is the difference between the value of exports. Net invisibles is the difference between the value of exports and the value of imports of invisibles of a country is given in a given period of time. Invisibles include which of the followings are included? So visibles means goods. When we say goods and services, no? Okay. We say goods and services. If you buy a bike or if you sell a bike, that is quite visible. Okay. Services are So all of these are invisibles. If there was a good or a commodity, that means that one will be in the visible. Rest, if there is any transfers, if there is any services, all these are invisibles. What does La Nina refer to in the context of climate patterns? In the last mock also we got a question from La Nina. So El Nino, La Nino. I have already given you the shortcuts to remember. And just like Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats, two little shortcuts can help you. Two little statements can help you solve many questions. So here also, doesn't matter how much you dwell into the concept, at least remember the basic for El Nino and La Nina. Let us look at the question. Refers to the, what does La Nina refers to? Okay. Unusual warming of the Eastern Pacific Ocean or unusual cooling of the Eastern Pacific Ocean. Then the seasonal reversal of the wind, this is known as monsoons. Monsoon, what is the definition, is only seasonal reversal of the wind. And a strong tropical cyclone in the Atlantic. So the correct answer here will be unusual cooling of the Eastern Pacific Ocean. Okay, unusual cooling of the Eastern Pacific Ocean. In June 2025, India completed a historic clean sweep by winning in all three categories, men's, women's, mixed doubles, at the second Asian Squash Doubles Championship. Against which of the following countries does India's men doubles team secure their title with a 2-1 victory in the final? So in the finals, in the squash, India won against Pakistan. So the correct answer here is Pakistan. Sports current affairs, in weekly current, monthly current affairs also we are doing, that is important. Which of the following statements about India's performance in the Olympic Games is correct? India's performance in the Olympic Games. Let us look at the statements. India won its first division Olympic medal in shooting. India's first Olympic medal was won in athletics. India won first Olympic medal as an independent nation in hockey in 1948. Now, even if you don't know about the others, you know that the first Olympic medal we had won in hockey, and for several years for that matter, we were doing the best in terms of hockey, right? Then things changed for some time, and now again we are coming to the best phase. So, in terms of hockey, okay. Next is, which of the following Indian cities municipal corporation unit above the 10 lakh population in 2025 launched the country's first digital house arrest project using QR coded plates to connect households with smart governance and citizen services? Digital house address project. How do you have the digital address for your house? Please note, there is nothing called as digital house arrest. There are various fake calls and spammers who will try to pitch you for this, but there is nothing known as the digital house arrest. Okay, digital arrest, no such concept is there. Okay, anyways, this is different. This is about the house address, and Indore launched country's first digital house address project. Next question. Which of the following most accurately describes the legal character of the right to freedom of speech expression under Article 19(1)(a) of the Indian Constitution? Right to freedom of speech. It is absolute right. Fundamental rights are not absolute right. There are some, say, terms and conditions applied, some reasonable restrictions. It is a fundamental right available only to Indian citizens, subject to reasonable restrictions under Article 19(2). It is a legal right enforceable only through ordinary courts. No, you can go to Constitution. Fundamental rights means Article 32 and 226. There are the constitutional remedies under Article 32. Writs which can be issued by High Court and Supreme Court and High Court. It applies equally to citizens and non. So here the correct answer is B is the correct answer. In field hockey, what is the term of the method used to restart the game when it has stopped for a non-penalty reason, such as an inquiry? An umpire cannot determine which team had possession. So in this case, the method is bully method. In field hockey, the method is bully method. Which of the following is not a criteria used to declare settlement as a census town 2011 for a census town? Which of the following not a criteria to determine as a census town? Minimum population 5,000 town, okay. Population density at least 400 persons per square kilometer. Municipality or notified area status under state law. That means if it is municipality already, then why it will be census town? At least 75% of male engaged in non-agricultural activity. This also must be there. This also must be there. So this is not a criteria. C is not a criteria. C is the correct answer. Lure dance. Lure dance is performed in which of the following states as a folk dance performed by women to create the arrival of spring and holy festival? So Lure dance is by Haryana. Lure dance, Haryana. Read the following statements marked as assertion and reason. Mark the correct option. Statement assertion 1. The novel Tomb of Sand, Red Samadhi by Gitanjali Shri. I have read this book also because it came for the awards, no? And then after that, it was interesting. It's quite big book, but like Heart Lamp is, you can finish it in 2 days. And this one quite contains a long story. So it's a novel, complete novel. And Heart Lamp was short stories, but again, good reads. Is a significant milestone in the Indian literature, correct? Right? I still remember that line that the newspaper headlines of that book that lady said, 70 saal ki dadi no chari jawani. That is how the newspaper printed for the female who was the lead character. She and her daughter went to Pakistan in search of her, what, maybe that before partition love, like that. Anyways, it was and that too without visa. Look at the without the fine proper paperwork. Look at the guts, look at the strength and daring, or the situation, whatever it was. It was the first book originally written in any language, in Indian language, to win the International Booker Prize in 2022. So first book to win the International Booker Prize 2022. After that, I had read that after this award. Okay, so both the statements A and R is true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Next one. Consider the following statement regarding the traditional dance called Fudgi. This movie, no? This movie before some, what, Houseful maybe? Houseful movie, that Houseful A and Houseful B, like that it came, no? That movie also had this one by Mithun Chakraborty maybe, who was there? The Nana Patekar. Nana Patekar was there, no? So, maybe he was only doing this Fudgi. So that some glimpses were shown. Okay, which of the following statement regarding a traditional folk dance Fudgi we have to consider, and we have to say which is correct. Okay, let us see. Ancient folk dance traditionally performed by men during the religious festivals like Ganesh Chaturthi. No. The dance is characterized by its low-paced movement and is most prominent in the states of Goa. But they were showing for Maharashtra, no? So neither one and nor two. No, they did not show a state as such, but it is not of Goa. Okay. But in the movie I'm talking about. Okay. Next question. Consider the following statements and which is correct. Chandragupta Maurya established the Mauryan Empire by overthrowing the Nanda dynasty. True or false? This statement is true. Megasthenes, a Greek ambassador, wrote Indica. Megasthenes' book Indica, detailed accounts of this is very, very basic question from your history. Both the statements are true. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding the National Health Policy, NHP 2017. Aims to increase, wait a second. Let us come to the option D as well. Okay. Aims to increase government health expenditure 2.5% of GDP. The policy target to increase life expectancy from currently it is 67.5, want to increase to 72. It was 65 before that. Then 67.5 it came, and now we want to achieve 72. It targets to reduce under 5 maternal mortality to 23 by 2025. Maternal mortality rate from current levels of 100 by 2020. The policy targets reduction of TFR is, that is the policy target reduction, 2.1 at national and sub-national levels by 2025. So just by eliminating statement number 4, we are left with statement number 4. So statement number 4 you check once, okay? And statement number 2, see, by from 72, it was 65 in around, just check, it was around 65 in 2021 most probably. So it is, if you want to like increase 1 year per year, that is how you will reach 70 by 2026. So this target of 2025 and 72 by 2025, but 1 year in one term here and there, it is very difficult, right? So if you remember any of the statistics around this period, even if this is 65 to 67, even that case also, it is very difficult to go up to 72 in 2025, which is less than, say, in less than 5 years and 4 years term period. So it is not appearing practical, right? So 2 we have to eliminate. Now if we are eliminating 2, and if you are not sure about statement number 4, okay, so then also you come to at least 50-50 option. And the correct answer here is option number C, which is only 1, 3 and 4. 1, 3 and 4 is the correct answer here. Okay. So I think those were the questions which we had to discuss today for the general awareness. All right. And you can attend the other sessions also on this particular session, okay, on this particular YouTube channel itself. Thank you everyone. Take care. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.